My number one thing is actually there's no wrong way to network.
Part of what I'm doing here is I want to give back a little bit to, the few people that follow me who are in the industry. I want to talk about networking, specifically. So
Yeah.
if you can give your top 3 tips for any emerging artist or, professional, and they're looking to build relationships in their field, what do you got for us?
For sure, man. My first one is I want people to know. And first off, I just want to say that this worked for me. It may not work for you, but I still want to relay this to you in case it does work for you, So don't come to me saying, oh, man, it didn't work. Hey, this is what worked for me. So I just want to put it out there, But my number one thing is actually there's no wrong way to network. Email, social media, approaching someone at an event. There's no wrong way, I think, but there's a manner in which you have to do it. So what you do is never wrong, but how you do it. You don't want to come across as needy or desperate when you're messaging someone on social media. Like imagine like opening your Twitter account, right? And there's like from the same person in one day, there's like 5 messages. Like you don't want to, or even emails. Like say that you email somebody you want to connect with, and you email them like 5 times before they even respond the first time. Like it comes across as needy and desperate. Like so, don't ever do that. So emailing somebody is fine. Hopping on social media and adding them and then hitting them up is fine. But don't come across as needy or desperate. And I've even had people tell me, and mind you, I'm not an executive. Like no, like I don't have any power. But people even come to me and be like, "Hey, man, I'm a desperate artist. I need help." It's like, yo, that right there, that already like turns me away. Right. Don't ever do that. Don't ever do that. And the reason being is because I like confidence in people because I want to know that you have something to offer me. Like if we're networking is mutual, right? So if you say that, hey, I'm a desperate artist, I need help, it's one-sided. It shows that I can't really get anything from you, and that sounds harsh, but it's mutual. Like networking is mutual. So I give you something, you give me something in a way, but if I know that if you come across as desperate and you even say you're desperate or needy, then it's like, I'm out.
I firmly believe in that as well.
The way you approach someone is fine, like email, social media, talking to them at an event. It's just a manner of how you do it. Another thing, the second thing, nothing turns me away more than when someone I meet for the first time is like, hey, I'm Richard. Can you connect me to an agent? It's like, dude, I just met you. I don't know you. And I get these DMs all the time because they know that I know people. And it's like, yo, I can't vouch for you because I don't know your work because we just met. But secondly, like, I don't know your behavior. So I can't vouch for you when I just met you if I don't know who you are as a human being. Like, you could be a psycho killer. I'm not gonna connect you to my friend who works at Sony or like, these other big companies, CW, whatever. And like, you're a psychopath.
Yeah.
I need to know you as a person first before I ever vouch for you. But secondly, like, I need to know your work too. I'm not going to pass on a script on your behalf if I don't know if you're good or not. And people get offended when you tell them that. It's like, yo, it's just common sense.
For sure. Like definitely, I know you're using the example of like, hey, you may be a serial killer or something like that, but even something, more like your work ethic may just not be that of what a lot of these people are looking for. You know what I mean? So exactly. It's like, I need to know that and sort of vet that before I even get you to the next point.
And I've even done that, dude. I've done it before where I've connected someone into someone else and it fell through. It's like, oh, it makes me look bad. Like, especially if they don't keep in contact with them. It's like, yo, I gave you that. I gave you that in. I gave you that in and you didn't. Let me give you an example. And this is something that happened at one of my earlier events 5 years ago. And I'm a little bit of name dropping here, only because I'm name dropping not to sound important, but just so you get the scope of things.
The weight of it, right?
Exactly. Okay. So if you were literally speaking to the casting director, one of the casting directors of Star Wars, it'd be important to you, right? As an actor, Richard?
Of course. Yeah, dude, Star Wars is my jam.
For sure. Yeah. So one of my earlier events, I had one of the casting directors from Star Wars be a speaker. And after the event, she approaches one of my volunteers and she gave her a card saying, hey, I want you to read for something. Here's my card. I hit up my friend a week later. I'm like, yo, did you ever hit up the casting director? And she's like, no, I'll do it later. I'm like, come on, dude. Okay, fine. You'll do it later. Fine, whatever. Months go by. I'm like, hey, did you ever Did you ever reach out? Oh, I got busy. I couldn't do it. Yo, are you serious?
Wow. That's like you find a piece of gold and then you just kind of flick it into the pond.
Yeah, dude. And I dropped it, dude. I didn't ask anymore. I was like, yeah, that was on you.
You dropped the ball, right?
Yeah. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna bring it up. I'm not gonna bring it up to her. I'm not gonna bring it up to the casting director. It's
Right.
water under the bridge at this point, because you messed that up, not me.
Right. Exactly.
If there was a third thing, I would say, find something that sticks out to you. Of course, for me, it was events, because there's a million other actors and writers in the industry in LA and in New York. So everyone, we're in a sea of millions of other people. So I think you have to make a conscious decision to find what makes you stand out, so that you don't blend in the sea of other actors and writers and filmmakers.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I said, for me, it was events, and that's my way of connecting to people in the industry. It might be something different for you, Richard. So whatever it is, find that specific thing and rock it.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I can vouch for your events. They all have like a certain feeling to them. It's not like completely laid back, but it's something about it where it's not like this uptight conference type
Yeah,
thing. It's like everyone's kind of hanging out. I don't want to call it a party, but it's somewhere in the middle between like a conference.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
it's like a hangout.
it's low stress, because we allow folks to have a beer with your favorite executive. Um, we have like these low stress environments, because even the executives, they want to loosen up too. They want to meet people.
Yeah.
So I don't want to call them parties, but they're also not conferences.
Yeah.
They're in that in between, and we've done them like that on purpose.
Yeah.
Whether it's live or virtual, because of what's going on nowadays. Even our virtual events, they're always in the middle. They're never too loose, but never too proper.
Right.
We like to have fun.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's critical, right? With networking as a whole, I always tell people it's like you're kind of just putting yourself out there to make some new friends, right? Like it's the playground back in the day. Like who do you want to kind of go play with? If you see somebody in the distance who's like really fun and looking, you're like, ooh, I want to go play with them, right? Like kind of just like befriend people by showing up and like, letting that guard down, being vulnerable and whatnot. But yeah, I love that about your branding with like your events. You know what I mean? Like that's what made your events stand out. It was like, yo, these are the types of things that you want to go to because everyone's guard is basically down and you can go have a drink.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like, we've been to panel events where they're held at like Writers Guild of America, which is nothing wrong with that, or AFI, but like we put them in clubs, in lounges, because it brings you that atmosphere of it's chill.
Yeah. Yep. Love that.